वन्दे गुरुपदद्वन्द्वम् अवाङ्मनसगोचरम् रक्तशुक्लप्रभामिश्रम् अतर्क्यं त्रैपुरम् अहः विशुद्धिज्ञानदेहाय त्रिवेदी दिव्यचक्षुषे श्रेयः प्राप्तिनिमित्ताय नमः सोमार्धधारिणे नमो यामिनीनाथरेखालङ्कृत कुन्तलाम् भवानीं भवसन्तापनिर्वापण सुधानदीम्.
So today we will see the Tritiya Khanda of Parashurama Kalpasutra, Nityakrama. Evam Ganapatim Ishtva Vidhuta Samasta Vighna Vyatikaraha Shakti Chakra Ekanayikayaha Shri Lalitayaha Kramam Arabheta. So Bhagavan Parashurama states that Evam Ganapatim Ishtva. So this is a very clear indication that Maha Ganapati Krama is an anga for the Shri Vidya Upasana. We do not have an option of skipping Maha Ganapati Krama. Just like in the yajnas, there are anga yagas like prayaja, etc., which has to be completed before the main yajna. Similarly, Maha Ganapati Upasti has to be completed before one starts the Shri Vidya Upasti. This fact has been made very, very clear in the Vyakhyana of the first shloka of Nityashodashi Karnava by Bhaskar Raya, when he comments on Ganesha Graha Nakshatra Yogini Rashi Rupini, Devi Mantramim Nomi Matraka Pitha Rupini. In that shloka's Vyakhyana, Bhaskar Raya clearly indicates and he quotes Kalpasutra Vakya and he says that Maha Ganapati Krama is an anga to the Lalita Upasti. So one has to start the Maha Ganapati Upasti a few days. Katipaya divasaihi purvameva. This is the statement made by Bhaskar Raya. So one has to start the Maha Ganapati Upasana before one continues with the Lalita Upasti. Or at least before one starts, see, there may be practical difficulties in today's circumstances. For example, Sri Guru would have given in the Diksha Maha Ganapati, Bala and Panchadashakshari. In which case, what do we do? Yes, we will have to continue with the Panchadashakshari, Vidya, Japa and all those things. But whatever has been said in the Ganapati Krama has to be completed before we take up the Lalita Upasti in a full-fledged manner. Now, the another question is this anga-angibhava between the Lalita and Ganapati, does the same kind of anga-angibhava exist between Lalita and Shama and Lalita and Varahi? Now that question will be answered later when we take up Shama and Varahi Krama. But contextually speaking, in the same shloka, Bhaskaraya makes it clear that just like Maha Ganapati Krama is an anga for the Lalita Upasti, Shama and Varahi are not anga kramas. So it is krita kritam. Whether we do that Ekalaksha in Kali Yuga, it becomes Chaturlaksha Japa. Okay. Whether we do it or not, it is optional. He makes it very clear. He says krita kritam. But if it is done, then that gives a much faster and much better result. And he gives the nyaya, a laukika nyaya also. Pradhana dwarena. Okay, just as if you have to see a king, you have to approach the minister first and then we see the king. Similarly, before entering full-fledged into the Lalita Upasti, it is always better to complete the Shama, and after Shama, the Varahi, and then the Lalita Upasti. That is the order, but that is Krita Kritam. Whereas Maha Ganapati, we have no option, it has to be done. So in the sutra it says Ishtva. The pratyaya used here is Tva pratyaya. Tva pratyaya is used in Sanskrit to indicate after completing an action when we begin the next action. So it means that Ganapatim Ishtva means after completing the Maha Ganapati Upasti. In Maha Ganapati Upasti, there are two main things. One is the 28,000 Japa and the Chaturavarti Tarpana. These two are most important things. So these two has to be completed, and then we can start with the Śrī Krama. So evam Maha Ganapatim Ishtva Vidhuta Samasta Vighna Vyatikaraha. So what does Maha Ganapati Krama Aradhana ensure? It ensures that Vidhuta Samasta Vighna Vyatikaraha. All the Vighna, all the obstacles that lays in the path of Śrī Krama, those obstacles have now been removed. Vidhuta, Vidhuta means washed away, taken away. Samasta, all, the entire. Vighna, the obstacles. Vyatikaraha, Vyatikaraha means that were laying in the path. So having removed all the obstacles that were there in the path of our Upasana. Wow, what was it that made sure that the Vighnas have been taken away? The Maha Ganapati Upasti. So, Vidhuta Samasta Vighna Vyatikaraha. Shakti Chakra Ekanayikayaha Shri Lalitayaha Kramam Arabheta. Then he starts the Lalita Krama. Shri Lalitayaha Kramam Arabheta. So Bhagavan Parashurama uses the name Shri Lalita. Okay, even in Lalita Sahasranama, we come across in the Bhashya saying that Shri Lalita is the proper name. All the other namas that we have, 999 namas, okay, bearing the first three, Shri Mata, Shri Maharagi, Srimat Simhasaneshwari, okay, bearing these two, all the other 996 namas, they are epithets or qualifying terms. Proper name is Lalita. Okay, that is why Bhagavan uses the term Shri Lalitayaha. Kramam Arabheta. We have to start the Krama. Krama means Upasana Krama. Okay. He adds one more statement here, or one more word here to qualify Lalita. He says Shakti Chakra Ekanayikayaha. By saying Shakti Chakra, okay, we refer to the Navakona Chakra. Okay, because in the Navakona there are 4 Shiva Chakras and 5 Shakti Chakras. Okay, though strictly speaking there are 4 plus 5, 9. By making the statement Shakti Chakra here, Bhagavan Parashurama is not singling out only the 5 Shakti Chakras. By the term Shakti Chakra, he refers to the Navakona Chakra only. Okay, because in the Shakti Chakra, the Shiva Chakras are Ashrishta. No, that is what it is. Shakti Chakra, Shiva Chakram, Shlishtam. It is embedded. So when we say Shakti Chakra, it includes the Shiva Chakra also. So Shiva Shakti Chakra is Navakona, Navakona is Sri Chakra. So Sri Chakra Nayikayaha, Ekanayikayaha, which means the Pradhana Devata for an Upasaka in the Sri Vidya is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. All the other Devatas, we are free to do the Upasana of all the other Devatas, but the Bhavana has to be that they are the Rashmis of Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. Rashmis, they are the rays emanating from her body. So Pradhana Devata is Sri Lalita. So he is making that very clear. Ekanayika, that is the term. So Shri Chakra, sorry, Shakti Chakra, Ekanayikayaha, Shri Lalitayaha, Kramam Arabheta. Arabheta is a Vidhiling Lakara. Okay, it's an in Sanskritam there are certain lakaras. Lakaras are verbal terminations. Vidhiling is used to indicate that it is a vidhi. Vidhi means it is a set order which has to be followed. Okay, and Bhaskar Raya says that Lalitopasti is Nityakrama. So when you become a Dikshita, Lalitopasana becomes our Nityakrama. So we should not have any doubts in our mind. Okay, because sometimes we get these questions. All right, I am in an defilement period. We call it as Ashocha, either Janana Shocha or Marana Shocha. Can we do Japa? You should not ask any of these questions. It is a Nityakrama. Just as you do the Sandhya Vandana on a day-to-day basis, you have to do the Japa on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so it is a Nityakrama. The Lalitopasana is a Nityakrama, and it is Yavat Jiva. Once you have got the Diksha, till the last breath, we have to continue with this Upasana. So Lalitayaha Kramam Arabheta, that is a Vidhi, and Vidhi Vakya is something that is applicable to us Yavat Jiva. So three things has been made clear in this sutra by Bhagavan. Number one, Ganapati is the Anga. After completing the Maha Ganapati Upasti, we have to start the Lalita Upasti. Number two, the Pradhana Devata of the Śrī Krama is Lalita Mahatripura Sundari. All the other devas are the Rashmi Bhutas. We have to have the Bhavana that these devatas are a manifestation of Sri Lalita only. Number three, this Krama is Nityakrama, and we have to continue it Yavat Jiva till we are breathing. And we have already made it clear that only a Dikshita is eligible to perform the Upasana. So Diksha is the most important qualifying factor for a person to start the Upasana. Okay. Second sutra. Brahme Muhurte, Brahmanaha, Muktaswapaha, Papa Vilapaya, Paramashiva Rupam, Gurum Abhimrishya. Brahme Muhurte. So Muktaswapaha Brahmanaha. So the next question is it that this Śrī Krama or the Lalita Upasti open only for the Brahmana or Trivarnikas, or whether it is open for all the Varnas? Okay. In the Vyakhya, makes it very clear that the word Brahmana here used does not refer to the Jati. It is not a Jati Vachaka Shabda. The word Brahmana here is referring to a Dikshita. Anyone who has undergone the Diksha procedure becomes, because once we have become a Dikshita, okay, and the Diksha has been performed by a Sadguru who has come in a proper Sampradaya. So we are talking about such a Dikshita. So when he becomes a Dikshita, then he becomes qualified to raise himself above the Varnashrama Dharma. So the term Brahmana here is not Jati Vachaka. It is Brahma Abhimukham Yaha Vartate Saha Brahmana. One who is focused, or one whose mind is focused towards the Supreme Being. That is an Upasaka. Here the word Brahmana refers to Upasaka. So Brahme Muhurte Brahmana Muktaswapaha. So the first dharma is that we have to get up in the Brahma Muhurta. So Brahma Muhurta is an hour and a half before the sunrise. Okay, all that has already been made clear in the Ganapati Krama itself. So in the Brahma Muhurta, we have to get up. The moment you get up, Mukta Swapaha, very interesting term. Mukta Swapaha. So when should we do this Guru Chintana? Because it says that Papa Vilapaya Paramashiva Rupam Gurum Abhivrishya. One has to remember his Shri Guru so that he gets removed of all the sins that he has performed in the previous day. Papa Vilapaya. Papanam Vilapaha. Vilapaha is taking away. Okay. For getting rid of all the sins. Paramashiva Rupam Gurum. So understanding that there is an abheda between Guru and Parashiva. So for an Upasaka, it is only through the Guru, and Guru is the final destination also. Though we have in the Bhavana Upanishad, Guruhu Upayaha. Okay, Upaya means the means. Here, it is not merely the means, Guru is also the end. So for an Upasaka, Shri Guru is everything. He is the means, he is the end, he is the one who is going to teach, he is the Swarupa of the mantra that he has taught, and he is the Devata who is denoted by the mantra. To sum up, there is nothing over and above Shri Guru for an Upasaka. So the first Chintana has to be of his Shri Guru only. Paramashiva Swarupam Gurum. One who is of the nature of Parashiva. In one of the arthas for the Panchadashakshari mantra, in the Varivasya Rahasya, it is called as a Sampradaya Artha. In Sampradaya Artha, he makes it very clear that just like there are many other paramparas, and all these paramparas are promulgated by the different Guru Devatas, but all these are held together by the Adinatha. Gives an example of a fisherman. A fisherman throws the net. Okay, the net will have different, there will be many threads. Okay, but all these threads or the ropes will be connected to one point, which will be pulled by the fisherman. So that one single point is Parashiva. So it is Parashiva himself who manifests as the different gurus. And there is no difference between one's own guru and Parashiva. Same kind of respect we should have for the other gurus also. For me, my guru may be the highest, but I have to show respect to the other guru also. When we show respect, it does not mean we have to treat them at par with our guru, but we should not engage in comparison. Okay, we should not engage in criticism and all those things. So that is a very important thing that we have to remember. So Parashiva Swarupaha, Paramashiva Swarupam Gurum Abhimrishya. Mukta Swapaha. Here, in Śrī Krama, this discussion is not there. Whereas in, if I'm right, I think it is in the Shama Krama. The Vyakhyanam, there is a beautiful description wherein he says, what is the meaning of the term Mukta Swapa? Means the very next moment you have regained full consciousness after opening your eyes. So it is not like after 5 minutes, after brushing your teeth and all those things, then you start thinking about your guru. No. The moment you open your eyes, the moment you regain consciousness, the first thought has to be of your own guru. So Mukta Swapaha, Papa Vilapaya, Parashiva Swarupam, Gurum Abhimrishya. So we have to do the Guru Dhyana. All right. I will come to the point where there is a small differences that we observe in the text and in the practice. But let me first complete the text part first. All right. We move on to the third sutra. Moola Adi Vidhi Bila Paryantam. Tadit Koti Kadaram. Taruna Divakara Pinjaram. Jwalantim. Moola Samvidam Dhyatva. Tad Rashmi Nihata Kalmasha Jalaha. Kadim, Hadim Va, Moola Vidyam, Manasa, Dashamaram, Avartya. So after the Guru Chintana, the next that the Upasaka has to do is Mooladi Vidhi Bila Paryantam. So Moola Adi means starting from the Moola. Moola means Mooladhara. So A Mooladharat. Starting from the Mooladhara Chakra. Vidhi Bila. Bila means opening or an hole. Vidhi. Vidhi is a term used for Brahma. So when we say Vidhi Bila, it means Brahmarandra. So Vidhi Bila Paryantam means Brahmarandra Paryantam. Brahmarandra is 12 angulas above one's pericap. Okay. So A Mooladharat, A Brahma Bila Paryantam. Starting from one's Mooladhara till the Brahmarandra. Tadit Koti Kadaram, Taruna Divakara Pinjaram, Jwalantim, Moola Samvidam Dhyatva. So one has to Dhyatva. One has to meditate upon. Meditate upon Moola Samvidam. Moola Samvidam means Para Samvit or Paravak, the Supreme Universal Consciousness, who exists as the Paravak or Moola Kundalini. Okay, or Para Kundalini, as we say. So she shines through the Sushumna Nadi, extending from the Mooladhara till the Brahmarandra. So we have to imagine her, okay, like a streak of lightning. Tadit Koti Kadaram. Tadit means Vidyut, lightning. Koti, crores of Vidyut. Okay, crores of lightning. We cannot even imagine how much of light one lightning can throw. So here in the text it says Tadit Koti, which means complete prakasha, nothing but light. Okay, Tadit Koti, Kadaram means shining. Tadit Koti Kadaram, Taruna Divakara Pinjaram, like the Taruna Divakara. Divakara means Divam Karoti iti Divakaraha. Okay, Diva means day. One who causes the day. That is Surya. Taruna Divakara. Taruna means young. So Taruna Divakara Nibham or Pinjaram means one who shines with the hue of the rising sun. So that crimson red color. Okay, that Aruna color. Okay. So Taruna Divakara Pinjaram. Jwalantim. She is shining. Jwalantim. Moola Samvidam. The Supreme Universal Consciousness as the Paravak. Now, three things that we have to remember here. Paravak or the Supreme Consciousness is present everywhere. There is not a single space that is not covered by her. Okay. So it does not mean that she exists only in the in our Sharira, in the Mooladhara till Brahmarandra. What we have to know here is that her, even though she is present everywhere, her Anubhuti can be had by an Upasaka if he focuses on the chakras, okay, starting from the Akula Padma till the Brahmarandra. So this is where he has the Anubhava. Though she is present everywhere, but for an Upasaka, the Anubhava will happen here. So, Moola Adi Vidhi Bila Paryantam. Number one. Tadit Koti Kadaram. She is shining with the hue of 1000 lightning, which means she is Prakasha Swarup. Now, there are two types of Prakasha. The ordinary Prakasha that we understand by the light. Okay. Now, why is the light important? The light does not do anything in the act of our cognition. The mere presence of light allows the cognition to take place. Similarly, Parasamvid is responsible for each and every act of knowing, each and every act of cognition. So, the very fact that our Swarupa or our true nature is that of being conscious. Okay, so it is her Swarupa and our Swarupa being the same. So in the Rig Veda, when we say Prajnanam Brahma, that is the Mahavakya of the Rig Veda. Prajnanam Brahma. Brahma is nothing but Prajnanam. Pra Visishtam Jnanam. The supreme consciousness. That supreme consciousness is what we term here as Parasamvit. Vit also means to know. And it is in her presence that all the cognitions takes place. And she is nothing but cognition. In the sense, there is no difference between the knower, known, and the process of knowing. There is no triputi there. That is why it is tatit koti. So in extreme light, there will be nothing but light. Okay, so here also there is no differences between known and knower. It is only the light. So to emphasize that point, tatit koti kadaram. Taruna Divakara Pinjaram. She is of the hue of Taruna Divakara, crimson red hue. Why is she crimson red hue? We are talking about, or this Upasti is of Shri Lalita. Okay, so the aspect that the Upasaka will be focusing upon is mostly the Shuddha Ragatmaka aspect of the Supreme. Okay, Raga is Ranjanam, pleasing. That is why she is Lalita also. Lalita is Lalana Lalita. She pleases. So this is a Saumya form of meditation. Okay, that is why she is crimson red in hue. If the Upasaka is is engaged in, let us say, an upasti of some other Mahavidya, let us say Dakshina or Tara, then her aspect is different. Therefore, the color will also be different there. Okay, so here it is Anuranjana. Okay, it's a Saumya form. So she is crimson red. So she is concentrated or she is meditated as crimson red. Otherwise, the red, blue, black, and all these things are nothing but the various modes of the same whiteness. Okay, so it is that Prakasha alone. But she manifests herself as Lalita. Therefore, she is Taruna Divakara Pinjara. Jwalantim. It means that it is active. In Tantra, the Brahma is always active. It is not a passive thing. Okay, that is why one of the most important aspects other than the Sat, Chit, Ananda Swarupa is its Swatantriya Shakti. So it's an active force. It's a dynamic force. It is always pulsating. That is why in the Shastra we say Spanda. There is always a Spandana. Okay, there is always an activity here. It's not passive. To indicate that, Bhagavan uses the term Jwalantim. Jwalantim Moola Samvidam Dhyatva. Tad Rashmi Nihata Kalmasha Jalaha. And because of her Rashmi, her rays, Nihata Kalmasha Jalaha, all his sins have been taken away. So even in the previous sutra, we say that for removal of sins, you remember Sri Guru. Again in this sutra, Bhagavan says the removal of sins, okay, takes place because of her Rashmis. So why do we keep emphasizing upon removing the sins? What is this Kalmasha, or what is this Papa? The Kalmasha or the Papa we are referring is the three malas. Okay, the Anava, Karmika, and Mayika malas. And these three malas, even though from the absolute point of view they are non-existing, it is because of the Maya Shakti of Parashiva that we are tend to believe that we are Baddha. So we are bound by the Shatkanchukas. So this misbelief or misunderstanding is the Papa. This misunderstanding can only be removed by recognizing or knowing our own true self. Knowing our true self is the one and only means of removing this Kalmasha. So knowing the true self is through the Guru, and knowing ourselves as one with the Parasamvid. So this aspect keeps coming again and again. And also we have to remember the ultimate aim of the entire Upasti is Swarupa Jnana, to know ourselves. All the other things are only incidental benefits. All right. So Tad Rashmi Nihata Kalmasha Jalaha. Because of her race, all the kalmashas, all the sins have now been removed. Then Kadim Hadim Va Moola Vidyam Manasa. Kadi. Okay. The mantra which for whom the seer is Manmatha. So it is called as Kadi because it begins with Ka-ye-i. Hadi is another which is also called as the Lopamudra Vidya. Okay, the first letter being Ha, it is Hadi. So Kadim, Hadim, Va. So Kalpasutra says either Kadi Vidya or Hadi Vidya. Manasa Dashavaram Avartya. Within our mind, 10 times we have to chant this Moola Vidya. How we do this Moola Vidya? That we learn from our Sri Guru. That is each Kuta. For each Kuta Dhyana, there is a different Dhyana from which portion of our Mooladhara. Okay, that is in the chakras, we do the first Kuta. Which segment goes to the second Kuta, which segment goes to the third Kuta, what are all the colors, and what are all the other bhavanas that one has to have, that we have to learn from our Sri Guru. So, we have to do this Dashavaram Avartya. 10 times we chant the Moola Vidya. Okay, Dashavaram Avartya. Then Bhagavan goes to Snana and Sandhya. Okay. Now, there is a small difference that we have in our practice and in the text. In our practice, we do the Guru Paduka. Okay. It is not mentioned in the text that we have to do the Guru Paduka with the Pancha Mudras. Then we don't have the mention of the Rashmi Mala. Though Rashmi Mala will come later on in the Kalpa Sutra itself. Okay. So Rashmi Mala has to be done in the morning. Then we also do the Ajapa Samarpana. All those things have not been mentioned here. Okay. In this context, it is not mentioned. Rashmi Mala will be mentioned later on. Okay. In addition to that, we do the Ajapa and other. All these, we have it in the Sampradaya. So even though it is not directly mentioned, we follow the Sampradaya and we are doing this. So this is what I said. There will be smaller differences between what we are actually following and what is there in the text. Okay. So it is best that we learn what we have to do from our own book. What is there in our Sampradaya. Okay. We go to the Sandhya and Snana Karma. Snana Karmani Prapte Moolena Dattva Trihi Salila Anjalin Trihi Tad Abhimantritaha Pitva Apaha Trihi Santarpya Trihi Prokshya Atmanam Paridhaya Vasasi Ram Hrim Hrum Saha Ityuktva Martanda Bhairavaya Prakasha Shakti Sahitaya Swaha iti Trihi Savitre Dattarghyaha. So he is coming to the Snana Vidhi. This is Snana Karmani Prapte. Now that the Snana Karma, okay, you have to do the proper Snana. There are always a Vaidika Snana and a Tantrika Snana. A Vaidika Sandhya and a Tantrika Sandhya. So, for whomsoever, that is for the Trivarnikas, one has to complete the Vaidika Vidhi first before he starts the Tantrika Vidhi. Okay? Trivarnikaihi Vaidikaha ante Tantrikam kriyate akhilam. So, this is in the Tripurarnava. So, Tripurarnava says that for the Trivarnikas, if there is a Vaidika Vidhi, he completes the Vaidika Vidhi and then he does the Tantrika Vidhi. We don't have an option of skipping the Tantrika Vidhi. You have to do the Tantrika Vidhi. But after you complete the Vaidika Vidhi. For those for whom the Vaidika Vidhi is not applicable, they start directly with the Tantrika Vidhi. That is the difference. So, Snana Karmani Prapte means in the context of Snana, when the Snana Karma or when you are in the stage of doing the Snana Karma. When you are in the stage of doing Snana Karma means after you have completed your Vaidika Snana, etc. Snana Karmani Prapte. So how should you take bath? How should an Upasaka take bath? What should he do when he is taking bath? That procedure is being given now. Moolena Dattva Trihi Salila Anjalin. With the Moola mantra, Trihi, 3 times, Salila Anjalin. Okay, Salila means water. Salila Anjalin Dattva. One has to offer the water 3 times. Where should he offer the water 3 times? It's not mentioned in the sutra. Vyakyana says Shirasi. So you offer the Salila 3 times, chanting the Moola mantra on the head. Trihi Salila Anjalin Dattva. Then Trihi tad abhimantritaha pitva. Then holding the Salila in the hands, you chant the Moola mantra 3 times. Trihi abhimantritaha. So 3 times you chant apaha pitva and drink it once. It's not drinking it 3 times. It is clear. Trihi abhimantritan apaha pitva. Okay. So holding that in the hand, we do the abhimantrana using the Moola mantra 3 times and we drink the water. So pitva. Trihi santarpya. Okay, 3 times we do the tarpana. For whom do we do the tarpana? We do the tarpana with the Moola mantra to the Tripura Sundari. Okay, so the mantra for doing tarpana is Mahasundarin Tarpayami. Trihi tarpai santarpya. Then Trihi Atmanam Prokshya. After the tarpana, 3 times we do the prokshana using the Moola mantra. Okay, so 4 things have been said here. Number 1, 3 times with the Moola mantra, okay, we offer it on our head. Then 3 times we drink, that is once we drink with the water which is having or which has been sanctified by the Moola mantra 3 times. Then 3 times we offer the tarpana and 3 times we perform the prokshana. Everything using the Moola mantra. Vasasi paridhaya. Paridhaya, wearing. Vasasi. The vachanam in the word vasasi is dvivachanam. Okay. Vasaha, vasasi, vasamsi. That is the shabda. So vasasi means wearing. a set of cloths. That is, 2 vastras should be there. So vasasi paridhaya.